Alright, folks. So after doing some history checking and number crunching, I've come up with this wall of text. It's a list of all the premium and special tanks that could appear in this year's large boxes for holiday ops, or next year's battle pass, ass shop, or auction, one of the which, but take a quick look. There are few guarantees and restrictions which are highly important, so make sure you read through all of these. I won't go through all of them because it's boring, but obviously the tier 10s won't be in this year's large boxes for holiday ops because that's way too broken. But we already saw the introduction of the Chieftain prototype for the Waffentrager boxes, so Wargaming is highly incentivized to do tier 9 premiums nowadays instead of tier 8 premiums, but they'll make more money, so take a look at the list. I also put the original contents of previous year's large boxes right here, so you could see that there are duplicates like with the 122TM or the Skoda T56, which already appeared before the actual holiday ops, so we could see duplicates like the WZ-114 showing up, or the Ship TVP-100, maybe the Vipera as well, so there are a few new premiums that already came out which are highly interesting to say the least, but there will be tier 5s and below obviously, so low tier runner-up prize. There will be new premiums that are added this year, so they are treated more favorable compared to ancient vehicles like the T44 lightweight or T44 122, so these are somewhat ancient, so usually we don't see them unless it's like recently modified, such as the KV4 KTTS or the K91-2, so technicalities I guess, but we have to save one Chinese premium tank for next year's Lunar New Year debut. So they did it with the 122TM as the Metal Ox of that year for 2021. We got the WZ-114 as the Water Tiger for this year, so next year it will be Water Bunny. Do not know how they're going to make that menacing, but okay. So I saved one of those, and we already saw a few weird debuts on the Asian server and the Chinese server. So this is the Asian server Autumn Golden Armory. So they're Christmas in October or something, but we got to see the Udarni and the TL7, which is a tier 9 premium, and the Yak Tiger prototype, which is a stock Yak Tiger. Blah. But yeah, weird introduction, right? It's not even holiday ops and they already had it. Also made a video on the Chinese server during summer, I guess, but we got to see the debut of the WZ-113-2 with the Object 140's turret on the 113, the Udarni, and they tested out the KV4 KTTS before we got the Waffentrager stuff for it too. So they're doing stuff, they're testing stuff. Wargaming is testing the water practically. So, well, let's take a look at what I expect is going to show up in this year's large boxes, but the T91-2 got recently updated, so about 80%. These are still special tanks, so these will likely be in Battle Pass for next year. We only need 2 out of all of these, and most of them are Russian. So possibly the UDES 03, all 3, will be one of it because it's Swedish, but it's not that good. It's alright, but still. We could see the T54, practically a Renegade again, as a tier 9 premium, so why not? I am doubting we're going to see the French light tank. It got changed multiple times on the super test, so it's iffy with the burst gun, so I'm doubting it, but it's also a light tank, so I don't think people feel that good about getting a premium light tank compared to a premium tank destroyer or heavy tank for that matter. But as for the tier 8s, we saw the Udarni, we saw the Yak Tiger prototype, so these are treated fairly highly. We could see the CS52C version or the pattern prototype with the space armor package, so improve M47 pattern for some reason, so that's fun. But I am doubting we're going to see something like the K2 or the original Object 259A. So this is the lesser armor version of the Udarni, but the K2 is practically a stock IS-4 at tier 8, so that is kind of broken. We also have the double barrel American heavy tank, which is a gimmick. So save one of the premium Chinese tanks for Lunar New Year, but we could see one of these as well. So possibly 3 out of the 5 will be new, and 2 will be repeats. So I'm guessing something like the ship TVP 100 or the Vipera going to be reappearing in this year's large boxes. So let's wait for that, but obviously no ancient vehicle. A T44 122 or T44 85, these are ancient. These are 7-year plus vehicles. Way before the actual HD conversion and stuff, these are ancient. So highly doubting these are going to be added. The same could be said about the Black Prince prototype at tier 6, so it is still kinda old too. And I already covered all the low tiers, so the KV-1SA got recently changed to a special tank from a premium, and that's what leading me to believe it's a well-deserved reward for this year. So we'll find out in a couple of weeks. But the New Year's gift is highly likely going to be the T26 Chinese copy. So usually it's a tier 2 premium that nobody plays. This one's also crap, so that is highly likely going to be this year's New Year's gift. But we could have the Sahara Reno in replacement for that, but I'm doubting it. So, well, there you go, folks. Which one am I mostly excited for? I'm not excited for the TL7. So I already saw the TL7 from the Asian server. So that is a high possibility because it's able to make bonds. Whereas the actual tier 9 premiums, the pre-premiums, they don't have the bond making capability. So these will likely be micropatch in, like what they did with the WZ120 at tier 9. The 120 GFT, not the 1GFT. The 1GFT is at tier 8, I believe, if that's the nomenclature. But yeah, they could just micropatch everything. And Wargaming is usually keeping everything close to their chest before micropatching it on the same day. So we can only make predictions. I can only make spreadsheets and be a nerd about it. So not really excited about the TL7. Not half bad for the T54 heavy tank. It punches harder, but doesn't have more DPM as you would expect. It's a little bit slower too. These are gimmicky, like the patent improved. So gimmicky armor, it's like a super Persian practically, super patent. CS52 is bleh, whatever. So the Udarni might be the big controversial vehicle because the thick ass armor of this thing, with only the cupola weak spot. So this might be the next Object 252U, but better. So this might be the most controversial vehicle right here, but I would like to see the VZ51 turret on the WZ111. That's the WZ111 Model 6. That's the 113 with the Object 140's turret. Do not want to see a stock Jagdtiger, so my bias right here, but don't want to see that thing. So why is this thing a thing? I mean, just replace this. Take this and replace the Jagdtiger 88, like what they did with the Kanana Jagdpanzer. Instead of the 90mm, just take this, replace the Jagdtiger 88. That'll be fine. Or give all those who already have the Jagdtiger 88 with one of this. I will be super happy, but they're not going to do that. So Chinese server, yep, WZ113-2, TL1, ugh. And the Samoa SM, ugh. Yeah, these are ancients. Well, technically ancients, but the KV4 KTTS. Well, there you go, folks. Rambling on too long, but now, as for the fate of this vehicle, the BZ176, I think Wargaming could put this thing into the large boxes for this year, but the whole tech line might be delayed. And it's like with the ship TVP 100 for the Czech tank destroyers, or the actual Japanese Tiger 1 that waited a long time for the actual introduction of the Japanese heavies. So we could wait a while for the rocket boosters of the Chinese heavy tanks. And here's what I mean. So this is obviously the flag bearer if it's going to be put into the large boxes, like with the M4 Yo for the actual Yo tank line got introduced in January, late January. Same with the Basante for the Italian heavy tanks that came late January as well for the Riceroni and other stuff, but that also goes with the 703 version number 2 for the ST2 and IS3-2. So they were on a tight schedule. It's like clockwork. But for the rocket Chinese heavy tanks, we're sort of behind schedule. So for the Yo tanks, we got the developer diary, the debut, and public debut-esque of a message on September for last year. So like clockwork, took about 3 months for the Yo tanks to come out. The same goes for the Italian heavy tanks, about 3 months or so, October 1st of 2020. And the same goes for the double barrel system, so September of 2019. So they were on a clockwork, but we don't have the developer diary of the rocket booster. That didn't happen. Only got a showcase, but that's leak info. It's not directly announcing it from Wargaming's part. So I am thinking we're getting a delay of the Chinese rocket boosters. We could see the BZ-176 for now, for testing or so, but the whole tech line might be delayed. So I'm guessing about 75% or so for the BZ-176, but it is more favorable compared to something else like the K2 or whatever, but it is iffy on the whole tech line. Very iffy. Let me know what you guys predict for this year's large boxes. And I'm predicting we're going to see something like the 116 F3 for Ash Shop for summer of next year, which I'm highly saving up all the freaking credits or free XP or bonds for it. So this one is obviously better performing than the OF40, but the OF40 is a lot prettier of a tank. Obviously it's a lot prettier, but well, just let me know what you guys think in this year's large boxes. So hopefully we don't see this thing. That's the most controversial one, but it'll be a wild ride with premium tier 9s available, possibly. But just remember, Wargaming introduced the no 50 guarantee from the Waffentrigger box. So if you own all the premium tanks featured in the large boxes, you won't get a guarantee of a 50 for a premium tank, so you get a gold compensation. That's not guaranteed anymore, so just be aware of that. We already talked about it, but just be aware of that. I'll post everything on the forum page. Take a closer look. Leave your comment below on which vehicles you think might show up. But that's a wall of text for you. So thank you guys for sticking with me all this year. It's been a wild ride, so we won't see any more new vehicle on the super test. I'll go through everything else and summarize this year later on, but thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.